The history of Native American tribes is replete with stories of resilience, strategic mastery, and unparalleled ferocity. Among the countless tribes who inhabited the American continent, 3 stand out as embodiments of power, fearlessness, and sheer strength. Their prowess in warfare and ability to strike fear into the hearts of even their fiercest enemies remain unparalleled, painting a vivid tapestry of human courage, culture, and survival. In the vast expanse of the Great Plains, the Comanches reigned supreme. They were known as the Lords of the Plains, a name that evokes both admiration and terror. The origins of the Comanche people trace back to the Shoshone tribe of the Great Basin. With the arrival of European settlers and the introduction of horses, their destiny transformed. The Spanish inadvertently unleashed a force of nature when horses spread among native tribes, and the Comanches quickly mastered horsemanship. This mastery became their defining trait. Every aspect of Comanche life revolved around the horse. Children learned to ride before they could walk, and by the time they reached adolescence, their skills surpassed those of most seasoned riders. The bond between Comanche warriors and their horses was legendary. Horses were not just a means of transport or tools of war. They were cherished companions and symbols of prestige. Capturing and taming wild horses was an art in itself. When a Comanche spotted a wild horse, they would rope its neck, choke it into unconsciousness, and carefully revive it by blowing into its nose. This intricate ritual demonstrated both their skill and deep understanding of animal behavior. Their equestrian mastery gave the Comanches a strategic advantage in battle. Riding with unmatched grace and precision, they could maneuver around their enemies with ease, using their horses as shields and platforms for attack. In combat, they would unleash deafening war cries, blending terror with lethal accuracy as they fired arrows or bullets while hanging sideways off their mounts. Their battle tactics struck fear into the hearts of both native and European foes. William Blakemore, an Englishman who lived among the Comanches, marveled at their transformation in battle. On foot, slow and awkward, but on horseback, graceful. They are the most expert and daring riders in the world. But the Comanches' reputation extended beyond their riding skills. Their raids were relentless and brutal. For nearly half a century, they thwarted Spanish expansion and decimated settlements along the frontier. They became known for their Comanche moon raids, nighttime assaults on Mexican settlements. Hundreds of warriors would descend without warning, massacring men, abducting women, and stealing horses. Their relentless campaigns earned them a fearsome reputation that struck terror even among seasoned European settlers. General James Wilkinson of the United States once described them as the most formidable indigenous group on the continent. The Comanche culture revered bravery in battle. Young warriors were expected to prove themselves through frequent raids, displaying their ability to kill enemies and steal valuable resources. This was their path to respect, prestige, and power. Comanche women, too, played their part. Their methods of torture were legendary, designed to break the spirits of their captives. Once captured by a Comanche woman, an enemy might wish for death sooner than endure their cruelty. S.C. Gwynn, in his book Empire of the Summer Moon, wrote that no tribe inflicted such widespread terror. Gwynn's descriptions of Comanche raids evoke an image of sheer brutality, torture, mass killings, and psychological warfare aimed at shattering their enemies' resolve. Yet, they were not alone in their ferocity. To the northeast, the Iroquois Confederacy, also known as the Haudenosaunee, wielded power through political unity and military might. The Confederacy comprised 6 nations: the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca, and later, the Tuscarora. Their strength lay in their ability to maintain cohesion despite their diverse origins. Unlike other tribes that fractured and fought among themselves, the Iroquois banded together, forming one of the most formidable alliances in pre-colonial North America. The Iroquois were expansionists at heart. From their strongholds in the Great Lakes and along the Mohawk River, they launched military campaigns to subdue neighboring tribes. Their tactics were as effective as they were ruthless. They were masters of stealth, able to move silently through forests before striking with overwhelming force. The Algonquins, longtime enemies of the Iroquois, called them Iroquois, a name meaning rattlesnake, reflecting both fear and respect. The Iroquois raised their young to be warriors. From childhood, boys trained in the art of war, mastering the bow, spear, and club. By adolescence, they joined raids, gaining experience and earning the respect of their elders. Captives taken in battle often faced a grim fate. One of the most feared rites was running the gauntlet, where prisoners had to run between two lines of warriors armed with thorny sticks, enduring blows and cuts. Survival was rare, and even then, a captive's suffering was often far from over. The Beaver Wars of the 17th century were among the bloodiest conflicts fought by the Iroquois. Seeking to control the fur trade and expand their territory, they waged war against the Huron, Erie, and Susquehannock tribes. These wars reshaped the political and territorial landscape of North America. The Iroquois unity allowed them to dominate, and at the height of their power, they controlled vast swaths of land stretching from Michigan to Tennessee. Their strategic alliance with the British during the French and Indian War further cemented their influence. The Apache, another formidable tribe, occupied the American Southwest. Unlike the Comanches and Iroquois, the Apache were masters of guerrilla warfare. Living in rugged terrain, they relied on stealth, speed, and surprise to outmaneuver their enemies. Apache warriors were renowned for their ability to cover vast distances rapidly, striking suddenly before disappearing into the mountains and deserts. Their adaptability allowed them to integrate Spanish horses and steel weapons into their tactics, making them even more formidable. An Apache warrior could fire multiple arrows in quick succession while riding at full gallop, a feat that astonished both allies and enemies. Their raids were precise, targeting enemy supply lines, settlements, and military outposts. General Crook described the Apache as the tigers of the human race, capturing the ferocity and tenacity that defined their military campaigns. Their physical prowess was unmatched. Apache warriors could outrun cavalry on foot, displaying endurance and agility that few could rival. But like the Comanches and Iroquois, the Apache were no strangers to cruelty. Their treatment of captives was harsh, involving torture that reflected both cultural practices and a desire to instill fear. Enemies were skinned, burned alive, or subjected to ingenious forms of torment. Yet their resilience and adaptability allowed them to resist conquest far longer than many other tribes, navigating the challenges posed by Spanish, Mexican, and American expansion. Together, these tribes shaped the course of history through their courage, strategies, and determination to preserve their way of life. The Comanches, Iroquois, and Apache left a legacy that echoes through time, a testament to human resilience, cultural strength, and the complex, often brutal, nature of survival.